Welcome everyone to a replay cast here. We are back here with game number 2 now between Backdoor Protocol here on the Legion side, once again taking on the Pandas here on the Hellborn side. As if you're coming from game 1, we saw the Pandas take game 1 there in a pretty decisive fashion here. We'll see if Backdoor Protocol can respond in the next game here. Uh, as we are underway here with the bands. Looks like we're continuing to see relatively the same bands. We have King Cloud, Gauntlet, and the Dampier. I believe those might have been the same 3 bands from game number 1 from the Pandas. We have the Magmus and the Moira so far. The Magmus was in the last game, so that one is going to be taken out here. The Draconis once again will be banned out as I think they banned that one in game number 1 as well. Definitely not wanting to play against that Draconis, but Moira, I don't know if Moira was banned. I remember a Nymphora ban, I think probably taking its place, or at least the place of the Magmus. And I remember Rhapsody being banned, so they will ban out the Moira this time. Monarch going to be the first pick here for the Pandas. They will pick up their main support. The Lodestone going to be the first response pick here coming out of the gates. Now, the Monarch is quite good against the Lodestone. It's able to prevent a lot of that initial burst from the Shatterstorm if the Monarch is there in range. The Cleansing Wind does not remove the Shatterstorm. That is a permanent debuff, but it definitely has the protection to kind of prevent that follow-up. Now, the Cleansing Wind can remove the stun from the Geomancer as well as the Crystal Field, so still quite good. They are going to go with the Malakin here. So they saw the Malakin played last game by Backdoor Protocol. They're going to give the Malakin a try themselves here. They're going to pick that up relatively early as well, showing their carry here on the second pick with one more coming up. But the Lodestone Geomancer, pretty strong combination of heroes, lots of burst potential, lots of strong laning phase with the stun locking and the burst power. Definitely bringing a lot of team fight presence to the table as well if they're able to combo the Shatterstorm with the Crystal Field. So pretty scary combo. They're going to go with the Cthulhu Font here, following up the Malikins. So quite a tanky lineup, I would say. 2 Strength Heroes with a Monarch in the back lines. Now, they still have some options here. How they want to lane this, they could look to pick up some kind of Cthulhu Font mana lane with like another nuking support hero. They could run a tri-lane perhaps with the Malakin, like we saw last game, although that didn't end up working out for Backdoor Protocol. But the options are still there. I think they are still quite flexible, despite showing their carry hero quite early here. We are now going into the secondary banning phase. As we see, the Glacius will be the first ban here. A little bit surprised by that. They already have a Monarch picked up. I don't know if they would necessarily run a Glacius. I guess the idea of like a Glacius Pebbles lane could perhaps be a potential dual mid, and then they already have the offlane Cthulhu Font with the Malakin picked up. But the Glacius ban is a little interesting. I don't know if they would necessarily want to run a Glacius and a Monarch in the same team. But they also get rid of the Aluna, which could pair up with the Cthulhu Font. The Flux will be the third ban there, as we saw a pretty dominating performance in Game 1 from the Flux. That was played by the Brown Panda. He did an excellent job there in that mid lane, controlling that matchup as well as setting up ganks in the bot lane. So we will not see the Flux this game. Jeraziah and the Predator going to be banned out so far from the Pandas, with one more ban coming up. They will get rid of that Lord Self-Forest. So that one definitely targeting the Malakin there is that Undying very strong against the healing of Malakin. They don't want to have to deal with a potential Lord Self-Forest pick. So getting rid of the Predator and the Jeraziah as well to kind of combat the Predator, very good against the Cthulhu Font and the Malakin. Actually, the matchup kind of goes both ways, the Predator versus Malakin, but not wanting to deal with that one. They go with a Solstice and a Shell Shock, so they could possibly be jungling the Solstice. They could also be laning the Solstice, which wouldn't surprise me. We have been seeing a lot more laning Solstices. Excuse me. And the Shell Shock, I believe that is going to be the hero for Zero for mid lane. We typically see him play the Shell Shock mid. Now, he doesn't know what they're going to be laning that against just yet, as we just see the Defiler pick coming out from the Pandas. That will most likely be their mid hero. So they have a Malikan and a Defiler. Pretty heavy farm-centric lineup. What will the last pick be as they have 65 seconds on the clock? They could look to pick up another support hero, something to pair with the Cthulhu font. There is always the option of running a jungler. We didn't see them jungle in the first game, but they could look to also tri-lane the Malikan if they want to fight off this aggression from the Lodestone Geomancer combo, which definitely could be a man-up dual lane. Um, Depending on how Backdoor Protocol wants to lane. So I think there is still a lot of options here on this fifth and final pick for the Pandas. Will they go with a secondary support that lanes long lane? Will they go with a jungler? Will they look to tri-lane? I think it's safe to say the Defiler will be a solo lane hero in the mid lane, but they are going to go for a Tempest. So they will be jungling here in game number 2. It looks like the Cthulhu Font will be playing the off lane or a solo lane somewhere. And then we have the last pick of the game going to be the Hellbringer. So they are going to get the counter to the Tempest with the Hellbringer pickup. And they don't have a true carry hero right now, so we could see carry or farming Hellbringer. We could also see something like a carry or farming Solstice, which I'm not really too sure if I like the idea of that. In theory, it could work, but I think it's very risky to run that, especially against like a Malikan Defiler multi-core lineup. They have a Tempest, so essentially the Pandas are running a tri-core here with a lot of farm across the board. Um, And I don't know how Backdoor Protocol is going to lane this. They need to do very well in the laning phase, I feel like, because they are up against that Tricore. We have Hellbringer headed to the bot lane here with the Solstice. He has a Word of Sight and an Orb on him, so it looks like he will be playing a support. And I think they are going to be running the Solstice in the lane here, as we see the heroes heading to the top lane. Shell Shock, I believe he will be playing mid lane, as it is 0. Playing that Shell Shock. Then we have Geomancer and Lodestone with, it looks like Hellbringer actually coming up here to the long lane. I think this is going to be a tri-lane, but at the same time, do you really want to tri-lane a Hellbringer? Because tri-laning the Hellbringer means he's going to get very low levels, and Hellbringer is a hero you want to get level 6 on as quickly as possible. I almost feel like they would much rather have him utilizing the pulls down in the bot lane with the Solstice, possibly stacking the jungle so that the Solstice can rotate in there before nighttime is over and he could farm those stacks. Solstice is very good at farming stacks in the early game. That is one of the reasons why you would want to pick him up. But with running the Hellbringer in a tri lane in the long lane with the Geomancer and the Lodestone, this is really going to hurt his leveling and going to mean a much slower Malphus, as well as delay the levels on the Lodestone and the Geomancer as well. So I don't really like this tri lane coming out from Backdoor Protocol. They are going to be going up against a Malik and Monarch lane, which isn't very strong in a 3 versus 2 situation, but they do have Tempest farming in the jungle, so he's going to be looking to get that farm, get that level 6 possibly before maybe making some rotations to the mid or top lane. And Defiler versus Shellshock, I feel like Defiler will do very well in this lane. She has a lot of lane power, and the Shellshock, I don't think he can necessarily kill the Defiler because he has the heal on his Siphon Soul. But bot lane Cthulhu Font versus Solstice. I think Solstice should just win this lane outright because he has the constant sustain with the Solar Slash, able to push the lane, go to jungle, just kind of be in both places at once. Cthulhu will get farm, of course, but I think Solstice should be able to outlevel him in this matchup. Now, will they be able to kill this Malikan and Monarch is the question. Malikan, not the strongest early level hero. It looks like they have Lodestone farming in the Chi lane, so they're going to try to get him an early portal key. So Malikan picking up a couple last hits there. He's on 2. Not doing the best. He's against a 6 and 2. Lodestone. Mid lane we have 9 and 1 Defiler against 6 and 0 Shellshock. So 11-2 against 6-0. Tempest, he's level 3. He is 300 GPM. 1.5 minutes in, so he's getting good farm here. So, oh, I missed the Bloodlust kill. Monarch gonna go down to, it looks like just 2 of them. The Geomancer and the Lotus don't have enough damage there to bring down the Monarch. Hellbringer was at the top rune. He was camping the Merrick's rune, it looks like. Defiler going to maybe go for that bot rune, which I believe that they do see that with this ward. Who will get this rune first? Oh, I think Shellshock's gonna get it first. Now, he did pick up the double damage, but Defiler is here with the bottle, and that's going to be a kill with the Siphon Soul into the demonic, or the Wave of Death as it's called. And then the Merrick's rune was picked up by the Hellbringer. Tempest continuing to farm in the jungle here. He's almost level 5, so he's leveling quite good. He's 350 gold per minute. So the Malikan is struggling, but they do have good farm on the Defiler here as he picks up that 1 kill. Defiler now 15-3 against the 12-0 Shellshock. Bottom lane, Husk Cthulhu and Solstice doing 20-0 against 12-1. So as expected, Solstice is winning this lane. I think this is no surprise. Solstice quite good early on at the daytime. We have Malikan and Monarch both level 2 here. We have 3, 3, and 2 in the tri lane. So we have a golden XP, or no, we have a gold lead for Legion and XP lead of almost 1200 for Hellborn. So yeah, Solstice is always on full health. Really, not a lot he can, or the Cthulhu can do, I think, to stop this. Top lane, the Monarch falls once again. Looks like he got caught there by the stun combos. They do have quite good range on the stuns between Geo and Load, so it's kind of, I don't want to say easy for them to catch the Monarch, but there is a lot of leeway for them to kind of get the stun there. As the heal comes in on the Malikan from the Monarch. There's a head smash from the Load that does a chunk of damage to the Malikan there. As Tempest, he is level 6 currently. Continues to jungle. 370 gold per minute. He is essentially the same as the Solstice, a little bit lower. But the Lodestone is the top farmer. He's 460 gold per minute so far. We have the Geostock used here by the Geomancer. Looks like they're trying to set up a dive maybe, but not a... well, I say no mana on the Lodestone. He has a Lunar Tier, so he does have the tier available to him to consume some mana instantly. Bot lane, the Solstice is just playing in the tower of Cthulhu here. He is going to miss the trample. I don't know if he can necessarily dive the Cthulhu, but Defiler looks like he healed at the base. Tempest is making his way over here, but I don't think he is spotted. But they are going to back off here as they have the lane control. Tempest is currently level 7. Malikan and Monarch not sporting the best XPM. They are 2 of the lower heroes here on XPM, but at the same time, so is Hellbringer and the Geomancer. So we have Malikan, he's going to be just fine here, as I think the Dick Stun was just used from Geomancer. Bot rune will be picked up by the Shellshock. It will be a haste rune. We'll see if he can make anything happen with that one. It looks like he is going to go for the Cthulhu here. He's going to maybe go for the roll here. Does roll in on the Cthulhu font. There's the Soul Trap. The Superconductor comes out. It's going to be a kill. Nothing really Cthulhu can do about that unless he had a TP with the trample. Tempest almost level 8 here. We have Defiler. She has her ultimate up. Let's see if she looks to use her ultimate. She's currently 400 GPM, so she is leading her team in GPM. They're going to find the ward here, it looks like, so they're going to get that D ward up. And they could look to possibly set up a gank here in the top lane. Tempest is kind of in the area. But not a whole lot of kills this game. Only the 3-1 score here as Backdoor Protocol is currently leading in kills. But the gold still remains in their favor as well. The experience heavily in favor of Hellborn here. 1600 experience lead due to the jungler. We actually have a Veiled Rod here being used from Tempest in the bot lane. He's looking to maybe set up a gank here with the Cthulhuphon on the Solstice. Has the Toxin Claws picked up on top of the Steam Boots. He's going for the ultimate here. He's going to use the Lunar Judgment. It's going to miss, it looks like. And we have Monarch porting in as well. Here comes the Tempest as well, going to stun up the Solstice. This should most likely be a kill here. He does eat the tree, but not going to keep him alive. Defiler was also making his way down here as Geomancer. I believe he ported down here. I'm not sure, but it's like they are going to maybe look to push this tower now as 3 players. Malikan going to maybe just try to get what he can in the jungle, perhaps, as he's rotating out of the top lane. Shellshock porting into the mid lane here as we have Defiler activating her Unholy Expulsion. They are currently pushing 2 towers at once. As Defiler, she might get this tower kill. They're going to go on her here with the Geomancer and the Shellshock. She's thinking about turning this one around. She does use the Silence here with the Siphon Soul as Malikan ports in. He's going to get the Snail there. So they did get 1 kill. They almost killed the Geomancer as well. Tower did fall as well to the Hellborn. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, the tower goes down with the trio there pushing the tower. Looks like Tempest is going for Astrolabe. We have investments in Ring of the Teacher on Defiler. She could be looking to go for Gnome's Wisdom with that Ring of the Teacher. And then we have enough gold on the lodestone for the portal key, actually. It looks like he might go ahead and buy the portal key. We'll see. The tower is almost dead here in the top lane. Lodestone might look to channel a Shatterstorm. He's going to TP out, actually. As we have currently Cthulhuphon and the Tempest sitting in the Legion's jungle. There is a Ward of Sight down as well. Now, they are going to get their own Ward of Sight up in the jungle here, so they spot this out. They are maybe trying to set up a kill here with Solstice. Going to charge in on the Tempest here. Lunar Judgment going to come out. Here's the portal key from the Lodestone as Shellshock joins the party as well. 4 players rotate down here to kill both the Cthulhuphon and the Tempest, so they will end up going down as they used a pair of ultimates there, the Solstice and the Lodestone. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we have Monarch going for a dive on the Hellbringer. He's going to get the Crippling Pollen out as Malikan is here as well. Now, there is a port coming in. That's going to be canceled immediately. I think that was a good decision there as Defiler had the Ghost activated up. She did have that invisibility rune as well. And it looks like Tempest is ported up here. He's got the Astrolabe finished. They're going to look to try to push this tier 1 tower. We'll see if they do look to defend this. Now, they do not have a Shatterstorm for 30 seconds. They do have the portal key, though, on the Lodestone. And no more ultimate on the Defiler. We'll see if they can hold this this push here. As they're maybe thinking about falling back here. Defiler is currently in Viz. She's scouting out the surroundings here. But as we can see, everybody except for the Solstice is up there in the top lane. So they will fall back. Defiler will head back to the mid lane. And she will fall back as well. Malikan currently in the jungle. Picks up the Gloves of the Swift. We have a tower being denied. Oh, well, two towers actually. The bot tower and the top tower both get denied here. It's going to give some gold over to the Legion, but we still have the Hellborn side in a golden XP lead here. And they get this Ward of Sight down here. They're going to spot out the Tempest, but they are just sitting there as Shellshock going to run into the jungle here, trying to bait out the Tempest. I have Defiler here now as well. She does miss the silence, it looks like. She is going in. Defiler's going to get bursted down by the combo here from the Lodestone. Shellshock, I think he's going to die here to the Obliterate. There's the slow coming out from Cthulhu. This should be a kill. It will be a kill. Well, they did lose the Defiler, but they will get the kill here on the Shellshock. Solstice gets the tower there in the mid lane. He goes for Incendiarius, which is a really aggressive item on the Solstice. Currently have 4 players between 3 and 400 GPM for the Pandas. Very top heavy from Backdoor Protocol with a lot of the farm on the Lodestone and the Solstice. Top lane, Lodestone is going to get locked down here. There's the Rocket Shell going to be used. Will he survive? It looks like he will with 7 life. He survives just barely. Solstice is going to channel the Lunar Judgment there. It's going to go off. Tempest is very low as he does get slowed up by that. Here comes the Malefice from Hellbringer, the Demonic Wave, but there's the Trample from Cthulhu to stop the Solstice charge. Cleansing Wind going to remove that Demonic Wave off of the Tempest. And it looks like Tempest is going to TP on out. Cthulhu, I think he'll be just fine. And it looks like they escape on everyone with a lot of ultimates being used there, being the Malefice and the Solstice ultimate. Lodestone picks up a Mighty Blade. I'm honestly not too sure what that's going to be. Yes, he does also pick up the Ghost Marchers to follow up his Portal Key. Malikan, it looks like he's going for possibly Elder Parasite or Incendiarius with the gloves. It could also be Thunderclaw, but I don't know if he's going to go for Thunderclaw this game. I think he's going to look to tank up. Probably an Incendiarius. We have Tempest maybe going for Barrier Idol here. Cthulhu Font looks like he's possibly saving up for a Portal Key. He's got the Vestments and the Steam Boots, 1100 gold saved up. So he's about halfway there to the Portal Keys on 300 GPM. Shellshock goes for Plated Greaves and a Soul Trap. He's going to go for the TP. Looks like he's going to be fine. They don't have a stopper to the TP. Builder out here on the Lodestone. They might see the Monarch. He's channeling the Shatterstorm here as Tempest is going to get hit by the Shatterstorm here, but no mana on the Lodestone. Geomancer going to fall here. Will they get the Solstice too is the question. The Ghost will take him down. Lodestone going to get Elemental Voided here in the background. There's the possession from Malikan. And that's going to be 3 kills going the way of the Pandas. They're looking to try to hunt this Shellshock down. Cthulhu did use his trample. Hellbringer is here. He's going to throw out a Demon Strike to kind of slow them down. But will they catch the Shellshock is the question. Trample up in 1 second. It will connect. Brrr, as the Misfit skin there. There's the Crippling Pollen from Monarch, and that will be a kill as Cthulhu gets that one. So that will be a... Was that a 4-for-0 team fight? It looks like from the Pandas. Pretty nice fight there as they didn't quite line up all their spells very well there from Backdoor Protocol side, but an excellent spread coming out from the Pandas. Malikan's now got his Insanitarius picked up as the ports are coming in top lane. They were trying to push this tier 1 tower. It looks like they're going to get the deny here. Possibly. They take out the catapult. This should be a deny now on the tower. As Tempest has the Shaman's Hedges finished. We got 2,200 gold on the Cthulhu font. That will be enough for his portal key. Beware my call. It's a funny skin. Let's see here. Defiler picks up a Neophyte's book. This could be a light brand, honestly. It could honestly be a tablet as well. I don't think it'll be staff, so it's either light brand or tablet. Oh, it's going to be a light brand. He's already got one picked up. Is this a dead snail? Oh my god, the damage from the ghost is crazy. That was a huge burst coming in from the ghost of Defiler. And what will they look to do with this ultimate being used here? Will they look to possibly take a tower? Will they look to fight? Or it looks like he's just going to be fine with farming ancients. He will heal up once that does wear off. I see Solstice farming in the jungle here. So we have Hastrun being held here by the Tempest. Cthulhu, he has an empty bottle, so he will take the Hastrun. So we have Portal Key on the Cthulhu font, Gnomes and Lightbrand on the Defiler. Tempest looks like he's almost got the Barrier Idol. And Malikan's sitting on 1,700 gold. He might go some kind of damage item now. And then possibly go into a Shrunken. Here comes the Shatterstorm on the Malikan. There's the burst. It is not enough, though. Possession comes out from the Malikan. He's healing with the green sword. The trample's going to be missed here by the Cthulhu font, but the auto attacks are enough from the Malikan as Lodestone goes for the solo kill. Not going to be successful there. Meanwhile, off to the side here, Geomants are getting silenced by the Defiler as the Crippling Pollens did wear off as well. They didn't have enough damage to bring down the Geomancer. He will get to safety there with the dig stun. Mid lane. Here comes a stun from the Cthulhu font. Silence comes out from both the Defiler and the Monarch. Will they have the damage to bring him down? Yes, they will. Just at the last second there, the TP almost landed. That was very close to being a successful port out. As Tempest and Malikan are in the top lane, they want to push the tier 2 tower. The Ghosts are going to be activated by Defiler, so they might possibly get 2 towers here. Solstice looks like he's not interested in defending this. He wants his Shrunken Head. He needs about 200 more gold for that Shrunken. So 2 towers falling here for the Pandas in both the top and the mid lane. They now jump out to an 11,000 gold and experience lead. And they have a Ward of Sight here on the Kongor. It looks like they're looking for the Kongor. They got the Ghost still going for another 2 seconds. They're going to get some... Whoops, as I hit my microphone. They're going to get some solid damage there out of the Ghost, but Malikan, he is able to tank this Kongor relatively easily here with the full team behind him. Monarch possibly able to throw out a heal as well. But this Kongor is going to fall. There is no resistance from Backdoor Protocol's side. They will counter push the mid lane here as they are currently grouped up as 5. But there's the Shrunken picked up on the Solstice. He's 500 GPM. I would have really liked to have seen like a Dawnbringer on Solstice. I think that would have really upped his carry presence. But the Barrier Idol is finished on the Tempest. He's got 1,300 gold saved up. A dive is coming in mid lane. There's the Chrysalis on the Defiler. The Defiler will get bursted down there as the Crystal Field did go off. Shellshock is in the Meteor now. He will go down. There's the Lunar Judgment though, and they're manning up. Here comes the Malphus from the Hellbringer, and there's the Elemental Void. It gets about 1.5 to 2 seconds duration off, but here comes the Solstice with Shrunken Head. Tempest is going to fall to the Geomancer stunned there as they do get the Hellbringer. Cthulhu font with the Dream of Madness trying to get a counter kill. There's the Insanitarius toggle though from the Solstice, and he will survive. Will this be the end of the fight though is the question, as they are thinking about going back in, but I believe should do it. So 3 players did die from the Hellborn side. All of the cores actually, the Tempest, the Malikan, and the Defiler, and they sacrificed the Shellshock and the Hellbringer. So it was a 3-for-2 fight. This did cut down the lead a little bit. They were the Pandas were up 11k. So this was a good fight from Backdoor Protocol. They survived on the Solstice. So a victory there. What will the Solstice go for as his next item? I think he could go for like a Hellflower or a Dawnbringer, something to kind of just amp up his carry presence. We currently have Defiler using the Veiled Rod here. Oh boy, is he going to run into the Solstice? He's going to run into him. Here comes the Siphon Soul and the Wave. I think the Shrunken just came off cooldown from the Solstice. That was very clutch timing there from the Defiler. Meanwhile, the Kongor is being attempted here. Now they do have 57 seconds. I think they have enough time here to get a token of life on the Malakin. They're able to bring this big monkey down here in the next 50 seconds or so. Defiler with that kill. She is now tied with Solstice in GPM, and there will be a token for the Malakin. So 3 minutes on the token of life. As he does pick up the Elder Parasite, he's sitting on 2,400 gold, so possibly a Shrunken Head, possibly some damage. Lodestone will clean up the creep wave here as the gang is heading down in the bottom lane here for the Pandas. Portal key there from the Cthulhu Font, possibly looking for a jump there as they will clean up the creep wave. There's a Shrunken Head on the Lodestone. I'm not too sure about that. That is really interesting that he picks up the Shrunken. I think I would have much rather seen like a Barbed Armor or some kind of utility item. Maybe even like a Spiked Bola for the Malakin. We have a dive coming in. Cthulhu is going to go down first. Malakin TP's in with the sword throw. Solstice is going to go down. Geomancer falls. Tempest is falling back. He has not used his Elemental Void just yet. As Shellshock is rolling in, there comes the Astrolabe from the Tempest as the buybacks are happening. Several buybacks being used from the Geomancer and the Solstice. Solstice is holding his ground. The Solstice will fall once again. He will go down twice in a row. Here's Malakin comes back up with that token of life. They still have the Tempest and the Defiler up. Here comes the Lodestone. Will he get the burst here on the Tempest? There's the Elemental Void locking down the Lodestone as Geomancer will cancel that one pretty quickly. Lodestone will fall. Geomancer will go down as well. The Malphus comes out from the Hellbringer and Shellshock will fall. The Malakin will fall as well. Defiler is all by herself here. 1 versus 2. The buyback happens from the Shellshock. And Defiler goes for the TP. He's going to cancel it immediately as the roll comes in from the Shellshock. It's a genocide here for Backdoor Protocol, but they used 4 buybacks in this fight. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 buybacks being used here to hold their base. So a lot of kills go in the way of the Pandas as they did break that tier 3 tower in that fight with that token of life on the Malakin. He does pick up the Shrunken Head, following up that token usage as Defiler also has the full Dawnbringer here. 566 gold per minute on the Defiler. He's sitting on 2,200 gold as well. He is just so darn farmed right now. Tempest picks up a portal key, I believe, as well after that fight. I believe he did not have that portal key prior to that team fight. Cthulhu Font with a glowstone. Looks like he's going for that Staff of the Master. He is 380 gold per minute, so he could be quite close actually to that staff. Might be holding some of the pieces in his stash as he is currently on 800 gold, but we'll have to wait and see how close he is to that staff. That would be quite a big pickup here for the Pandas to kind of get that fear going. And they do have a couple of Shrunken Heads, but the rest of the supporting cast, we're going to have a double damage Malakin here picking off the Geomancer. He uses the possession for that kill. That is a very hard-hitting Malakin with the Insanitary sitting for around 400 damage. So Solstice with the double death and the buyback, he is not going to have much item progression now. He has dropped from 500 GPM to 450, and well, I think that's really going to hurt his scaling power now as he's kind of falling farther and farther behind the Defiler and the Malakin, and there is even a 400 GPM Tempest supporting there as well. Here comes a roll on the Shellshock. He cancels his roll. There is the Shatterstorm connecting as the Soul Trap comes out, the Dreamcatcher rather, from the shell shock. There is the purge from the Monarch removing that, and they are going to get the TP on out with the lodestone. Here comes the elemental void on the shell shock. I don't know if that was necessary, but the hole comes out there to secure that kill. Tempest got very low as he buys the health potion there, but lodestone, he made the escape with the teleport. They went for that pick off there as they had that ward of sight in the jungle. No portal key on the Geomancer. We have a tablet on the Hellbringer. He's currently 234 gold per minute. Level 14. Possibly got that tome as he is higher level than the Lodestone, who was the tri-lane farmer, actually. That is not typically what happens, but he is still 400 GPM. Level 12 only on the Lodestone. Does definitely feel like he's kind of lacking in the XPM department. But Shell Shock looks like he's going for Staff as well. Maybe even a Spell Sunder as he picks up the Glowstone. I think Staff would be quite good on him. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. I feel like they're lacking damage. They have the Warp Cleft here on the Solstice. I'm not sure what he's going to build that into. Top lane, we have a Shadow Storm going off. Defiler, though, she is so darn fast. She is over 400 movement speed, and that is without the Ghost Marchers activated. She's going to find herself a double damage rune. She picks up an Axe of the Malphite, and oh my god, if she picks up a Behemoth's Heart, she is going to be a freaking monster. She is going to be so scary. 550 GPM still on the Defilers. Malakin now catching up to his teammate here with 500 GPM on the Malakin. He is also getting quite far. We have a Mighty Blade on the Tempest now. Building towards, I believe, a Shrunken Head as his follow-up item. We have the Veiled Rots here from Lodestone. Geomancer leading the way with the Geostock. But as we can see, the Pandas are currently in Backdoor Protocol's jungle here down in the bot lane with Defiler making her way downtown. Pun intended. She's going to TP actually to the mid lane. We have Tempest setting up as well. They're trying to get the catch here. Cthulhu, he's going to find himself a double trample coming in. There is the counter stun from the Solstice. The Shrunken Knight is activated. As Solstice is going to go for the TP. Is he going to be successful? There was no Elemental Void for 11 more seconds. Shellshock going to go for the TP as well. Malakin jumping in with the Sword Throw and the Possession. They will take out the Geomancer. The Ghosts are activated from Defiler with a double damage rune for another 27 seconds. So will they be able to use these this ultimate? It doesn't look like it for a tower push. It's going to expire here in a few seconds. But there is still the open Rax down in the bot lane. They might look to try to get this Rax here. Cthulhu has his staff picked up. He did use the Dream of Madness there, so he doesn't have the cooldown available. But definitely still good that he has the Staff of the Master following up that portal key. Gonna have that fear effect on everybody without the Shrunken Heads. Excuse me. So Malakin, he picks up a Shield Breaker. I think he just got Shield Breaker 3. Actually, it might be only Shield Breaker level 2, but he's going to be chunking in the damage on those towers. Here comes a defensive trample from Cthulhu, kind of scouting things out. They do use the Glyph here. Shadowstorm is being channeled here. Tempest is going to get Shadowstorm with the Cthulhu Font. The Burst is going to bring down the Tempest. The Crystal Field is down. But here comes Malakin with the Possession. With the Shrunken Knight, he jumps into the middle of the team fight. Lodestone is going to fall here to the auto attacks as it's a double tap for the Malakin. Solstice is going to fall here as well as a hat trick. Defiler going to get that second kill. Here is the first buyback from the Lodestone. Quad kill happening for the Malakin as he actually eats the dig stun there, and that might be the difference. He's going to not be able to get in range there for the auto attack, but meanwhile Defiler chases down the Lodestone. It will force another buyback from the Lodestone. That will be 2 buybacks back to back here from the Lodestone. Now without a Shadowstorm or a Shrunken, I don't really see what he can really do here to defend this, as the Raxes are going to fall here. One more hit from the Defiler, and that will do it. So they do survive on the Tempest, or excuse me, on the Defiler and the Malakin. The Tempest did fall. Sorry about that, but they get the Raxes there. And look at that, 580 gold per minute on both the Malkin and the Defiler. Crazy good farm here on both players. Monarch's had a tablet, I think, for quite a while. Didn't really mention that one. She's got 1,500 gold saved up as well. Shieldbreaker 3 was finished here on the Malkin, and he's heading to the Kongor. The team is looking like they're going to join him here to take this one out. This would be the third Kongor of the game. We have Lodestone counter pushing the mid lane. I still don't know what Solstice is going for with this Warp Clef. It's either demonic or hyper crown, but I think it's demonic. He just decided to go for the attack speed part first. Lodestone going to do a nice job getting the portal key out there. G-Mancer, I think he's going to be fine. Yeah, it looks like he'll get the distance. He'll be fine. Solstice is setting up here with the Veiled Rot. They're maybe going to get the jump here. Here comes the stun on the Defiler. Tempest going to get hit with the Shatter Storm as there's the hole coming up, but there's the Malphus to stop it immediately. And, well, I think the Hellborn team is just a little bit too strong. The Defiler does get bursted down. She will buy back immediately. She's looking to join the party here as Lodestone and Tempest are going at it. Tempest kind of chasing the Lodestone. He's going to use the Meteor here, but I think the Lodestone is a little bit too slippery. Meanwhile, the Solstice and the Geomancer did fall. Looks like the Shell Shock caught out as well, but with the buyback on the Defiler, okay, there is going to be a CC vote, and that will do it here at the 33-minute mark. The Pandas finish on a 22,000 gold and 20,000 experience lead, with the Malkin and Defiler leading the way there. Pretty well played game there from the Pandas, as they will take game number 2 here, which will conclude the replay cast.